Colorado route selected for Hyperloop One project. And the winner is Colorado. Well, one of them, that is. Hyperloop One has announced that Colorado is one of the 10 finalists in its global competition to identify the best potential Hyperloop routes. The proposed route would stretch 360 miles and link 10 urban centers around the state, with the potential to connect over 4.8 million people. A Hyperloop trip from Denver to Pueblo would take 15 minutes, while Denver to Fort Collins would take only 9 minutes. Denver to Vail would also be 9 minutes. Hyperloop One also selected 3 other U.S. routes as finalists: Chicago-Columbus-Pittsburgh, Miami-Orlando, and Dallas-Laredo-Houston. The company is planning for its first functional prototypes to be running as early as 2020. Flying is for the birds. Mexiloop Hyperloop design could connect 42 million people. Need to get to Mexico City from Guadalajara in a hurry? Mexiloop Hyperloop may be able to help out. Mexican consortium Mexiloop is proposing a 330-mile Hyperloop system that would connect 4 cities in central Mexico: Mexico City, Querétaro, León, and Guadalajara. The trip would take about 38 minutes compared to the current 6 hours it now takes to drive between the 2 cities. Stations would be located close to airports, rail freight hubs, and train stations in order to maximize transportation infrastructure efficiency. According to Mexiloop, a Hyperloop system would only be 2/3 of the cost of a high-speed rail system. Mexiloop's proposed system would provide a more efficient transportation system for 42 million people. The consortium also says building the Hyperloop would help boost the economy as well as ease traffic congestion. Hyperloop's next destination could be Indonesia. Indonesia could be the next country, and perhaps the first in Southeast Asia, to test a Hyperloop rapid transport system. Hyperloop Transportation Technologies has announced a $2.5 million feasibility study for 3 possible routes, including at least one to service Jakarta, which suffers extreme traffic congestion. A Hyperloop works by propelling a magnetically levitating passenger or cargo capsule through a depressurized tube. The low friction could enable it to exceed jetliner speeds. Hyperloop technology is perfectly suited to Indonesia, a country with a high population density, but underdeveloped transport infrastructure. The Hyperloop's capsule vehicle would accelerate to cruising speeds using a linear electrical motor, and the near vacuum tubes would enable traveling as fast as 760 miles per hour. The company says travel time on the 560-mile route between Jakarta and Yogyakarta could be slashed to 25 minutes. The frictionless motion enabled by magnetic levitation or air bearings would provide an exceptionally smooth ride, leaving passengers refreshed rather than exhausted by what might otherwise have been a long drive. The feasibility study will examine routes first in Sumatra, then Jakarta, and then other parts of Java. Hyperloop full test run to take place in Vegas. Hyperloop One is planning to run the world's first full-size Hyperloop test within the next few months. Hyperloop One announced last week that it plans to execute a full test within the next 3 months at Apex Industrial Park in Las Vegas. According to a company spokesman, the test run will cover 500 linear meters. In May 2016, the company successfully tested its levitating electromagnetic motor on an open-air sled, reaching speeds of 116 miles per hour. The company said it is planning to have a full Hyperloop system ready to transport freight by 2020. The Hyperloop is based on the idea by Elon Musk of levitating pods powered by an electric propulsion system that would travel in near vacuum tubes at speeds of over 700 miles per hour. According to Musk's calculations, a Hyperloop trip from San Francisco to Los Angeles could be made in under 40 minutes. Hyperloop One says that after the full test run, it plans to extend the tube into a few kilometers. First Hyperloop One system coming to the United Arab Emirates. Hyperloop One has signed an agreement with Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority to build the world's first Hyperloop system. Hyperloop One's system will connect Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Its stations, called hyperportals, will be located in the city centers. Passengers will travel in pods, which come in 4 different configurations: cargo, coach, meeting, and lounge. The pods will pick up passengers at gates and travel autonomously to an underground level. There, they will be loaded inside a transporter capsule. Each transporter capsule will carry 4 pods. The capsules will be propelled by compressed air, using magnetic levitation, which eliminates friction, inside a tube kept at a near vacuum to eliminate air resistance. They can travel at a speed of up to 1,200 kilometers per hour. The Hyperloop will reduce what's now a 2-hour car trip between Abu Dhabi and Dubai to just 12 minutes. Hyperloop One said passengers inside the pods will not feel any discomfort, despite the extreme speeds. The capsules will stop at the Hyper Portal upon arrival, while the autonomous pods can either stop at the gates or continue beyond the Hyper Portal to take passengers to their destinations in the city. Hyperloop One said in a press release that the infrastructure does not have to work with the pods alone. It could also work with other self-driving vehicles.